Hello, everyone. We're very happy to have you join us. We welcome you to our third and last day of the Get Ready Together webinar sequence. Today's topic is going to be how to use the teacher files and other resources. Okay. During this session, we will explore where to find both teacher files and student files, what kind of resources are available, and how to use them. Yes. To talk a little about Brain Buffet, we started with our very dedicated teacher, Rob. He just loved teaching and making sure students were having fun while learning. That has been our leading for the most part. So we're very happy to be here sharing all of this with you. So you can also have fun and help your students have fun and have this support in your teaching. My name is Monica. I'm Brain Buffet's Customer Success Manager, and I'll be here to help with any platform questions that might arise. Leading today's webinar, we have Sam. He is the director of the curriculum team here at Brain Buffet. Believe me, there's no one better to be teaching this subject. So thank you so much, Sam, for making time to be here with us today. And please take the mic. Now you're up.
Absolutely, Monica. Thank you for so much. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Monica, you can hear me okay, right? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, wonderful. Just want to make sure that that happens before we get any further. Okay. First things first, I just kind of want to be able to explain what we're doing today and being a little bit more intentional about what we're going over. Okay, so today's session is going to be at the beginner level. This is for people who've never touched Brain Buffet before or have just scratched the surface, barely scratched the surface on what Brain Buffet can do for their classrooms. Okay, so before we begin, I want to make sure that everybody is settled in. If you want to follow along, you can, but you are not required to. Okay, my whole goal today is to introduce you guys to these very fantastic Brain Buffet features that we have on our site, so that it's a little less intimidating when you come in here and explore on your own. Okay, so what I want you to do on your side, if possible, if you have it around you, go ahead and see if you can log into your Brain Buffet accounts. You don't have to follow along with me, like I said before. I do want you to have it open, so after the meeting, you can go in and kind of click around as you please, okay? Monica, if you could do me a favor and allow me to share my screen. It's saying it's just disabled for me right now, okay? Now, a little bit about today's agenda as Monica is setting that up for me. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the agenda is. So what we're going to be talking about today is specifically going to be the student side of things and the teacher side of things and how that kind of plays together nicely in the classroom when you guys need it, okay? Very quickly, I do want to talk about questions and answers. If you have questions during the session, please go ahead and put it inside of the chat. Monica can get to as many questions as she can on her own. And if she can't answer anything, I'm more than happy to answer them myself. We will have a question and answer section at the very end of the session. So don't freak out if I don't get to your question, I don't hear your question. We can always save the questions for last and more than happy to get to each and every one of those. Okay. I also see that there's not a ton of you guys in here today. That makes it really intimate. That makes this session very customizable. If you have questions, please ask me. This is the time and place to do it while you have an expert in the room, all right? There's no dumb questions, and we know that everybody here is a beginner so far, so there's no dumb questions when we begin this session, okay? All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes, shall we? First things first, when you log into your teacher dashboard or your Brain Buffet account, you may see a page very similar to what I have on here. Can everyone see what I have on screen right now? Monica, just give me a yes or a no if you're there. It looks like I am screen sharing. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Wonderful. We're all together here. First thing we're going to see is most likely going to be this class information tab on this left-hand side here. We will get into the teacher side of things. I just want to make sure that you guys understand this is the teacher dashboard. Most likely going to be your home page as soon as you log in to Brain Buffet. Okay. First things first, we're gonna go take a look at what the students are gonna see on their side of things, how they kind of experience Brain Buffet on our platform versus other platforms. Okay. So first things first, we're gonna go to my courses here. This is where all of the courses, the video courses live. Okay, so anytime you want to get to a particular course, you want to click on My Courses at the very top of the screen. Okay, once you're on this page, this will show you all the courses that you and your students have access to. Okay, you'll see that I have quite a lot of different things I have going on here. You may not have some, I may have more than others, and that's totally okay. You know, based on what you have, you should have your courses available. If you don't see the courses available that you should have available, let us know. We need to know that. Okay, we do want to make sure you guys are set up with the right courses in place that you need, so that when you come to this page, you can access those courses. Okay, for example's sake, I'm going to choose a Photoshop certification course as our bread and butter today. As I click on anywhere in this card, it's going to take me to the video dashboard. Okay, and this is the student video dashboard. This is where all the students are going to go to receive their lessons, so to speak. Okay, so as soon as you open up, you'll see this welcome page. This is going to play a little trailer of what this course is all about. And you'll see here on the left-hand side, we have this navigation bar. Okay, this is very important. On this left navigation bar, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of different video entries, separated by chapters or modules or projects. Okay, typically called modules. And on top of that, we also have these Photoshop project files as well. Okay, this is super, super important, guys. Make sure you guys are paying attention. These project files are what the students need to follow along with the courses. Okay, this is going to include stuff like worksheets, some lesson plans, and most importantly, project files. Files that they may need to follow along in the program, assets they may need to import into the software, so on and so forth. Okay, every course is a little different. Every course may have project files, dependent on the course and dependent on the software that we're teaching. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this video bar here. I'm going to go into one of our just a random video here. Okay. And as you can see, I'm just going to pause it real quick. As you can see, the interface does change a little bit for the bottom bar here. You see that we have a very formal video player. You see the very common stop and start buttons, some rewind buttons, some captioning options. We have all of our courses in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and some of our courses in German as well. This is really great for students that are obviously English is not their first language, who would really love to be able to learn this course, but not through maybe auditory English is not their best channel. And so we have these captions to also help the visual learners or people who don't speak English as their first language be able to have them serviced as well. Okay. Very importantly, down here at the very bottom, you'll see these. We have a few different dots along our timeline here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on one. Okay. And what these dots are, they are essentially interactive multiple choice questions. Okay, they come in all sorts of types of questions, but sometimes fill in the blank, sometimes it's matching, sometimes it's multiple choice like you see here, right? And the most important thing is that there is the immediate feedback necessary that the students need to regurgitate the information that they just learned, right? These pop-up questions, if we like to call them that, is meant to make sure the students are, one, they're awake and paying attention, and two, they can actually regurgitate the important critical information that we just passed on to them. So many times in classrooms, we're just stuck in the classroom. The students don't want to be there sometimes, right? And they're not really in the mood to learn. And very, very often when you play a video, it kind of goes right over their head, right? So without this interactivity, without these touch points, we really think that we can elevate the student experience by bringing in this interactivity, by bringing this that tangibility, this multimodal learning back into the video lessons themselves. Okay. Very importantly, there is a submission button. You may not, this may not be super intuitive at the get-go, but as soon as you finish the video and answer all the questions, I'm gonna go ahead and put in some information here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get the first one wrong, like I did here. And this, I'm gonna skip over here. And I know the answer is every 5 minutes here, but I'm gonna purposely choose the answer. Show you, okay? As I choose the wrong answer here every 10 minutes, it's gonna rewind me back to where I messed up where I should have learned this concept, and it's going to play that part again for me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in the right answer here every 5 minutes. Wonderful. And once I finish answering all my questions, you'll see that this star kind of lit up a little bit. When I get to the end of the video, it's very important that I submit my answers. Otherwise, the answers don't get locked in for the grading part of the teacher dashboard. Okay, so make sure your students are submitting these questions into the star at the very end of the videos. That way, they really ensure that your grading process is as smooth as possible. Okay. A few more details down here that I'd like to talk about before we move on from this page, okay, is that there is a playback rate button. This is the speed button. Some students may need to take a little more time to kind of process the auditory, video that's coming through the headphones. Some students prefer to learn faster or simply just read the captions and move on with their life. Totally okay. It's based on the student's best ability to learn, right? However they think they can learn best is really built at their pace. So this is really wonderful for students who have very specific needs like auditory needs or visual learning needs. This is a really wonderful way to also connect with those students as well. Okay, a few more things. So down here, if we scroll down to the bottom here, we'll have this overview will generally give some basic tips and tricks, some of the main ideas from the video. So if you got nothing else from the video, definitely a good helpful tip to look at the overview, or if you're just coming back in here to review the lessons that you've done before, and you kind of want to know what this video is about without watching the entire video, this overview section is again a wonderful place to go and see that. Okay, last but not least, we also have transcripts here. Transcripts are really cool because they give you all the words in the video, word for word, where you can copy paste, you can search things, you can Google things as you come across them. If you find something confusing, it's more than recommended to go out and get some more clarity on this if you need to. The wonderful thing is that all these transcripts are not only in English, but also in Spanish. They're available to view and or download for either English or Spanish, or for any of the other languages that might be available for certain courses. Okay. I do see we have some questions in the chat. I'm going to go through them real quickly. I see that if anyone's missing any courses, that's great. Okay, Monica is just doing a really good job of being thorough here. Wonderful. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Me and Monica will periodically look at them. Okay. Also, let me know if I'm going too fast. I am a fast speaker, totally normal. If I lose anyone there, tell me to repeat myself. That's totally okay, okay? It won't hurt my feelings at all. As we go through this left side navigation here, there's a few more things I want to talk about as well. And that's mainly these assessments or quizzes, as we like to call them. Okay, so every module in Brain Buffet, they always have a pre-assessment test, which you see here, and a post-assessment here, which you see here. Okay, there is an 80% requirement to pass on the project assessment, post-assessments, in order to pass the entire course, right? Each of these assessments need to be at least 80% or higher to properly say that you passed this course with flying colors. Okay, the pre-assessment, not graded, simply a benchmark measurement tool for teachers to understand how much their student knows before going into the class, and confidently being able to measure their success or their growth in the post-assessment. Both tests are generally the same. There will be some slight differences in the pre-assessment because some questions in the post-assessment require some of the experience or learning. Some of the questions may come through the videos themselves. So the pre-assessment and the post-assessment are different quizzes, but all of the core stuff that they need to be learning are in both. Okay. Again, like I'm going to repeat myself here, it's a really wonderful way for teachers to really quantitatively measure their students' growth and progress within this course as they're going along the course. Okay. Each of these quizzes, as I'm going to show you here, has a minimum, generally a minimum of 20 questions, so they are quite thorough. They will quiz through a lot of the things that we talk about in the video, and some of the things that may show up on the exam, not word for word, of course, but testing many of the same skills. Okay. You'll see here that we have 19 instead of 20 questions, but the process is very much the same here. It will quiz you on a lot of the stuff that are in the videos, but also a lot of the finer objectives that come from the exam itself. All right. Moving on, let me double check. I've covered everything. Yes, okay, wonderful. Very importantly, let's talk about the project files real quickly, because that is something that messes up a lot of our beginner teachers very early on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this file just so you guys can see how this works. Okay, very importantly, as I navigate in here, I'm not clicking on this top Photoshop files tab. Okay, I'm going to click it for you to show you guys it's the wrong tab. There's nothing here, and don't be scared. It's not because it's broken. Okay, it's because we really want you to click this bottom Photoshop project files page. Okay, don't click this top one. Click this one nested in between. And in this nest, you'll see there's two folders. Okay, one for Google Drive and one for OneDrive. Okay, both are designed to be set up in a way that allows you to download either any of these files, whether you're logged in or not. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this screen up on a incognito window, just so I'm not automatically logged in for my account. And you can see here I have all the different folders that I may need as a student, labeled student files, and I have this special great little button that says download all here at the very top. Highly recommend you guys download all for your students very at the beginning of the course, just so everybody has all the right files from the get-go. But if you want to really control when and how fast your students are learning, you're more than welcome to download these one at a time, folder by folder, project by project. Okay. Additionally, if you want to get even more down nitty-gritty than that, you can even go into each one of these project folders and download these individual assets by themselves. Okay. As you can see in here, we are in our Photoshop course. Okay, so as I'm opening up some folders, you might recognize some Photoshop things in here. Okay, first things first, we do have our Project One student worksheets. Okay, as I'm going to click into this, you'll see that for many of the things that we have in here, we not only have the PDF version, but also a DocX version of everything as well. Okay, and this is done specifically in mind so that you have the ability to edit these once you download them from yourself. You can edit these and calibrate these, change them however you want to make them fit your classroom needs. Okay, it's never our intention that we always say that our courses are plug and play, and that you can use our courses to get these kids up and running without really having to know the nitty-gritty details of the software yourself. But we nonetheless know that there's a lot of veteran teachers in there that have their own programs, that have their own software, that have their own way of teaching. And it's our complete recommendation that you mix and match some of these projects within your own teaching. Really make it your own, break it apart, see what works for your classroom, see what doesn't work for your classroom. Everybody teaches a little bit differently, so we can't expect that this video curriculum is going to be one size fits all. So it's completely expected for teachers to use them as they see fit, right? Some teachers use the whole thing and run through a course in a month. Some teachers take all year to go through bits and pieces. How you want to break it up and how your student goals are for their certification goals and how that aligns up is really up to you. But we do encourage that you guys take a look in here, definitely break it apart and see what is most useful to you guys as a teacher. I'm going to go ahead and open up one of these as an example, just so you guys can take a little peek inside without doing it yourself. Okay. I'm going to open up the PDF versions. As you can see, they are filled with little worksheets that students can fill out to really quiz their information, their knowledge, what they know about the software. Okay. Of course, with every worksheet comes with teacher answer keys as well. Okay, so we're going to get into the teacher side in just a little bit. But before I move on, I just want to make sure that you guys are still cool with the student side of things. Any burning questions we have so far? Okay. It says, are they translated in other languages? As Monica has answered, we only have English, German, Portuguese, Spanish captions, but they're not, the videos themselves are native in English, okay? Just by default, okay? the Microsoft is available in Spanish captions, but not in Spanish, not the Spanish video. Okay, maybe someday soon, but for right now, captions and transcripts is what we have for you guys for localization, so to speak. Okay. As we're moving on here, we want to go back to our courses page. Okay. And I did not show one thing. I'm going to open up the OneDrive side this time just to show you guys inside of the OneDrive and show you guys that it's exactly the same thing as the Google Drive side. Okay, you see that once again it is sorted into folders, and we're able to download the whole pack all at once or download individually. Okay, very cool that you can do that with both Google Drive and OneDrive. One thing I did want to show you, actually it's not inside of the student side. Let's go back into our courses page, okay? So then again, that was the student side of things. It's pretty much the same across all courses. The way they're set up, the way they're structured, all the resources are pretty much the same. They'll always have their project files, student project files. They'll always have their student worksheets, okay? Let's talk about the teacher side of things, okay? So in the teacher side of things, you'll always want to come to My Class. Okay, this tab is your teacher dashboard page. Okay, it's a little different from the My Courses page. The students will not see this tab. Okay, if you have a teacher account, this is the only way you can see the My Class page. If you have a student account, you will only see My Courses and this Explore Brainwave stuff. Okay, so very importantly, you can only use this page if you're a teacher. If you do not see this page, or you're logged in and you don't see this particular tab, let the support guys know. They're going to fix that up for you, okay? First things first, as we talked about before, the left-hand side is our menu, okay? So as I click on different things, you won't see anything change perhaps, but here at the bottom, you will see these things change, okay? So don't freak out if you're clicking through things, nothing's changing, you're kind of confused, no problem, it happens to the best of us. The main thing here is that there is a big bulletin board at the very top to make sure that you guys don't miss how to navigate and how to work around some of these sections. So here at the top, let me explain this UI real quick. We do have our latest and greatest bulletin board. So this is this webinar, which we're attending right now. There's some very great top of the line information that may be important to teachers and students like yourselves. Okay, so there's important information up here about new releases all the time, new deals, new bonuses, new free stuff that we're giving out. Okay, and right below that, very easy to miss, are some videos, some video tutorials. Okay, we have the welcome email, how to register students, how to remove students, how to reset your student passwords. All the information is here already. We will be giving these videos a facelift and update as soon as we update certain things on the site. So you will notice that we will patch some of these videos in and around the next few months. But don't freak out. Everything that we will be covering today is also in these videos. Okay, so at any time, go ahead and come back and take a look at these videos. If you never want to see these videos again, super cool too, no problem. Go ahead and collapse the section. It's very easy to miss. This will allow you to see all your other tabs way more easily without having that top buffer there, okay? Now, one of the most important things as I go through some of these features here, I definitely want to show you guys the class information. We'll talk about each of these, but the most important thing I really want to talk about first is the student roster, so to speak, okay? The student roster is the place to manage, to sort, to organize, to really be able to have control over your classroom in BrainFed, okay? So this will have all the students that you have under your classroom seats. You will be able to re-invite them, be able to remove them, reset their passwords for them. You don't have to rely on the students to do that troubleshooting themselves in order to get their accounts up and running, okay? You'll see in here that we have a bunch of fake accounts, all right? Please don't mind them. They are just fake accounts, but you will see that we have these wonderful buttons to re-invite, remove, and reset their passwords. Up at the very top, we also have some very important buttons that you will not see anywhere else. Firstly is an enroll new user. This is going to allow you to add new students. This will also so this button here, select all students, will allow you to, once you click on it, allow you to do some bulk actions, such as remove all the students instead of clicking remove for one student at a time. Okay. I'm not going to remove these students here. Last but not least, we have export roster, and this puts all your students in a CSV files, sorry, and allow you to be able to say, hey, now I have a little data Excel sheet of all my students, how they're doing, their emails associated, and all their information. All right, so this is a really wonderful way to sort and manage your students inside your classroom, even if you have multiple classrooms going on. Okay. Next is class information. This is where you sort students into their supposed classroom. So here as an example, we have one classroom that has 9 students, and right now I have one free seat that I have not taken up yet. Okay. You will be able to see some finer information such as the courses associated with this classroom, what courses does this class have access to, as well as a view link which will take you to the courses page, the class page, so to speak. Okay. Clicking on manage seats will obviously allow you to manage the seat remaining. If you have more than one seat, maybe you have 3 seats remaining, 5 seats, 10 seats remaining, clicking on this button will allow you to assign those seats to students. Okay. You can also add more classrooms. Okay. I don't think there's a specific limit on the number of classrooms you can add. But this will allow you to split up your student body, so to speak, into more manageable chunks. Maybe you have period 1 doing Photoshop, period 2 doing InDesign, right? You want to be able to make sure those classrooms are separated. Adding that new classroom is going to be able to help you out doing that. Okay. Last but not least, we will talk about this request for licenses button. If you find that you are running out of seats and you don't want to email your director directly, you can click on this request more licenses button. It will let the license manager know to give you more seats or to request more seats automatically. Okay.
Sam,
As we move, yes, go ahead.
we have someone asking if you can show how to add a new class.
Yes. Okay. A new classroom. If we click on this new classroom button, there's only a few fields, so it's actually really easy. Okay. You're gonna select the package that your county has purchased. Usually, there's only a few options in here. You want to ask your license manager which one you are. Generally, if you're Microsoft, you're teaching a Microsoft course, you can see it sometimes in the code. This Elite one is for Adobe. Okay. As we click on it, all you really need to know, all you really need to do is what the classroom is going to be called, what you want to name this period for blah, 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 if you want to. License allotted, which is the number of seats that you want to allow for this classroom. And last but not least, the button to add the classroom themselves. And that's it. That's really as simple as it gets, okay? That's to add a classroom, but once you have added a classroom and added seats into it, then you'll have to go in and add students into that classroom. Does that make sense? How do I get a teacher dashboard? I also see this question here in my dashboard. So license management dashboard. Okay, that's a really great question. So if you have more than enough permissions, say you are the license manager, I believe you also have this separated tab that says license manager, and that's going to be your default. Okay. So you're gonna look for this My Class instead of your license manager tab, okay? And that's how you're gonna get to the teacher dashboard rather than the license management dashboard. Okay. We will touch lightly about the course progression and the quiz reports. Right now, we don't really have anything, so it's a little harder to show. But do know that as your students fill out and complete the course themselves, the quiz reports, anytime a student finishes the quiz, any attempt that they have, you will be able to have complete insight on how they're performing, how other students are performing, how many attempts, which questions they got right and wrong. Okay. Course progression is very much in the same way, whereas analytics, and you're able to track the student as a whole, how they're doing on a particular course. Okay. But the most important thing here that I really want to show you guys is actually the instructor files. Very easy to miss, but instructor files are the files that you as a teacher, as an instructor, are going to need to play this in your classroom. So this is going to include stuff that isn't in the student side of things. This includes things like lesson plans, answer keys, rubrics, finished files, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what that looks like inside. For example's sake, I'm going to use Photoshop once again. I'm going to show you guys more examples as we go along. But as we get into Photoshop here, you'll see that it's set up very much the same way. We still have a Google Drive, we still have a OneDrive. Okay, so whichever one you end up clicking, as long as it works for you, doesn't matter. You don't have to be logged in. As you can see, I'm going to log in with a incognito window just to show you guys that you don't have to be logged in order to get these files. All you have to do is press this download all button. Okay, but one thing I do want you guys to notice is that here on our page here, not only do we have the student resources, but you also have this the teacher files. Okay, so at any time you can find not only what you need as a teacher, but also what the students are seeing and experiencing. Again, this is the same exact folder as the student side of things. Okay, so this is when you click onto here, you see exactly the same thing as the student. Okay, and in the teacher files, it is set up a little differently from the student side. Okay, we do have it separated by project, but you will see some extra folders in here that don't belong in the student files on the student side. Mainly the answer keys, finish files, and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and open up one of the answer keys to show you guys what that looks like. So with every question, there is a answer. As I scroll down here, you'll see that every question does have this all filled out. Okay, so you don't have to grade from scratch. You don't have to figure out the questions and answers yourself. All the answers are given to you as well as the instruction behind it. Okay. As we go along in here, I'm going to click into a particular folder just to show you guys that we also have finished files, and typically these are screenshots of what the end product is supposed to look like. Okay. In our third project, we have the students make a fantasy animal where they stick on horns and wings to unsuspecting animal. And this should be what the finished product looks like for the teacher. Okay, so this is a really wonderful way to allow teachers to see what they are supposed to be grading to. What does good look like? What does finished look like? What does an A look like for the student? And with creative programs like Photoshop and Adobe, Illustrator, and so on, it can be really hard to really understand what does good look like, right? So one of the many things that we did beyond just the finished files is also these lesson plans here. These lesson plans are really great because they are pretty in-depth. They will tell you how to run this in your classroom. They'll tell you some secret tips and tricks, maybe some of the pitfalls and successes that they themselves have ran through with their classrooms and their students, and what might work well in your classrooms as well. You'll see that we have many different sections in here. We have the project outline, which kind of goes through what the basics are, what the basic goals for this project are. We'll also have this exams covered. So if you look on the objective domain sheet from CertaPort, you'll find that we reference exactly which projects, which objectives, which points that we're talking about in every single lesson so that you can be able to confidently track and say, hey, we did talk about this, we did talk about this, we talked about all these objectives before we got to the test, right? So let this serve as kind of like a human checklist for yourself as well as you're going through some of these materials. We also have in this lesson plans other materials, resources, references, some cheats, some extensions if your students are the above and beyond type. We also have cross-curricular extension where students can who finish way faster than all the other students, they also have something above and beyond that they can get into as well, where they're not just twiddling their thumbs expecting something else to happen, right? So a lot of this grunt work thinking has been kind of done for you, which is really wonderful. Last but not least, we also have a scoring rubric, and this is true for every lesson plan. Okay, the rubric, the points possible is sometimes can vary, but of course you can adjust these points, the point system, to however you see fit. But we also have how they should be graded. So if they have, in this particular example, more than 4 images used and incorporated into their new landscape, they got 15 points for this required images part. And as you go down the line, there's different aspects or factors that may go into their final grade. such as the image resolution, the selection quality, special effects. And these are different for every single course, every single lesson, every single project, right? And again, the wonderful thing is that it's all done for you. You don't have to create this from scratch for yourself. You don't have to make this or steal anybody else's work in order to get this done. This is done for you. It's meant for you to use. It's meant for you to, and it's stuff that's proven to work for students across many different schools, many different districts, and many different regions of the US and outside. All right, as we move along here, any questions on the teacher files so far? Do you have any questions? Am I going too fast, too slow? Everybody feels so good, pretty good so far. All right, I'm assuming the silence is good. That means I'm doing a good job and there's no questions out in the field. Wonderful. Um, good. Okay. I'm gonna navigate away from our live folder here and see if we can get back into our my classes page. Okay. I want to be able to show you a little bit more classes as we go along. So I'm gonna go back into our courses page and be able to show you guys a little bit beyond just Photoshop. Okay, and the one I really want to show next is PMI. This one is relatively new to the BrainFit platform. What's really wonderful about this particular course is actually the project files. I see the question come up. Okay, I said, good, adding your directions that the manager has to give teachers licenses before they can add a class. Yes, that is very important. The managers do have to give teacher licenses before they can add a class. That is something that we will be adding. That's a very good idea to add into the licensing manager page, as well as the teacher pages as well. Thank you for that suggestion. Okay, let's go into the project management ready. PMI, let's talk about that. PMI is Management Institute. It's also called Project Management Ready. The PMI is the institute that is putting this together. It's kind of like the Adobe of project management. They have a specific certification, if you guys don't know, for project management. And this particular version of this certification is the entry-level version of the Mega Certified Project Management Test certification. Okay, so this PMI Project Management Ready is a simplified version of the industry standard project management certification. Okay, and this is really wonderful because it's the entry level version. We're able to turn this course into something that you can use in the classroom, and is in fact built so that you can run this alongside something else in your classroom. This is more so a way that we can introduce a student certification. At the same time, we can also teach students how to manage themselves, manage groups, manage each other, and manage the projects they're all working on, regardless of what the actual subject of the course could be, of the classroom might be, right? So you can teach this with Adobe, you can teach this with a business course, you can teach this with a marketing course, up to you, right? I really want to be able to show you guys some of the neat stuff inside. So I'm going to open this up in incognito once again to avoid me logging in outright. And I kind of want to show you guys inside of these workbooks because these workbooks are really good. Okay. Like the other workbook that we saw, you'll see a lot of the very similar formatting, very similar setup. And you'll see that here we also have tables and essential questions. This is a really wonderful place for students to tangibly be able to scribble down the notes that they've been writing, be able to regurgitate that information that they've been getting auditorily and visually from the videos, and be able to tangibly write down, get that connection, and be able to lock in that knowledge from watching the videos and be able to regurgitate this right onto this worksheet, right? So we have things like essential vocabulary, essential questions that will really get the students to start thinking and being able to think critically and be able to think more deeply about how management works, what does a project management look like, stuff like that, right? So I'm just gonna scroll slowly through this document here, and you can see that these documents are very, very in depth. This is for the entire project too. And so students will likely either have these printed out or just have this on a separate screen next to them, and be able to fill this out while they're watching the videos, be able to kind of jot down their notes, what they think is important, how do they think they can answer these questions as they're watching the videos, and really be able to be more critical and be more thoughtful and more intentional when watching these videos. Okay. And you see that they're of course separated by the lesson themselves, so 2.7, 2.8, and the title of the videos themselves are here. Okay. So they're very in-depth, they're very tangible. We really love that students are able to be able to get back in here and be able to not only test their knowledge through digitally, but also physically and tangibly as well. It's a big idea in the BrainFei curriculum that we really aim to be as multimodal as possible. And what that means to us is really being able to use the different senses and the different ways people learn as different channels. And the more of these that we can hit, the more of these that we can satisfy, the more likely that students will find a way to connect with this curriculum, whether it be through the worksheets, whether it be through the videos, whether it be through the captions, whether it be through the hands-on doing the work part of the project. There's something for every type of learner out there, and that's why I think it's so special. Are Photoshop students able to do the same, like fill out worksheets as they watch? Yes, absolutely. So every course that we have at BrainFei, they all have student worksheets. They all have teacher answer keys. Okay, so every course will have a worksheet similar to this, where it's recommended for students to fill out. Not even necessarily while they're watching the videos. It could be a way for them to test the stuff that they just learned before or even after the videos. Maybe even serves as the same purpose of the pre and post assessments. Okay. But yes, it is recommended that this Photoshop students also do the same, like fill out the worksheets as well. Right. PMI, that's PMI, guys. PMI is not a big course. It's relatively small. In fact, they've recently made it a lot smaller. So this has been shown at the early high school level, sometimes even at the middle school level, but mostly for the middle school level. Where are the students' worksheets? Where are those? I missed that. Wonderful question. I'm going to do it once again with a different course, okay? Just so you guys can see that this is really easy from any course possible, okay? So once again, very first thing I'm going to do is go to my courses page. And these are for the student side. So anything on the student side is going to be done in this courses page. Anything on the teacher side is going to be done on the My Class page, okay? So first things first, we're going to go to the My Courses page once again. Okay, I'm going to click on just a random one. So click on Premiere today. Okay. And as you click in, it's going to load in that video format. Okay, this video interface. Okay, the very first thing before I even get into this this lesson or into the course itself, I would recommend that your student go into this project files tab. Yeah, and so they're at the very top of this navigation inside of the course itself. Remember that it's important not to click on this top Premiere project files page, as it is blank. It's not broken. It's just blank. It's just how the system is allowing us to put this. Okay, on the second one here, that's nested in there, and there you should see a Google Drive or a OneDrive link. And there you should be able to pick which one you want to use. You don't have to sign in for either of them. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna incognito open this Microsoft OneDrive version, okay, to show you guys. And you'll see that I can download all the files here, okay, for my student resources, okay. Again, with the Google Drive, I'm gonna open this in incognito as well. And you'll see that I have option to download all, okay. And so these are the student files here. Okay, so again, this was in the My Courses side of the videos. Okay, on the instructor side of things, it's again on My Class or teacher dashboard. Okay, let's go ahead and show you guys the My Class side once again. And most importantly, you're going to look for instructor files. It's going to be this third tab here on the left. And this is where we're going to find things like lesson plans, answer keys, rubrics, and I'm missing something else. And finished files. That's right, finished files. So any of the courses that you have available to you should show up here. If you do not see them here, please let us know. We can fix that for you right away. Okay. Like I did with the other one, I did it for Premiere last time, so I'm going to go and hit Premiere this time again. And we don't have to navigate anywhere. As soon as we click it, we can see that we have options for both Google Drive and OneDrive, respectively. Gonna go ahead and do the same and open this one up as well, to show you that not only do you have the teacher resources, but also the student resources. At any time, you're able to see what the students see. This is exactly the same folder as the students, okay? I have on here the Project One community promo on here. This is Project One. I can go through my Microsoft Word next. No problem, okay? One thing I want to show you guys is that there is the student files also nested in here. Let's hop out of that. The finished files are in here as well. There's 3, and then there's one that has a big where the whole project will go. And then last but not least, we have the lesson plans and the rubrics that are separated by PDF and by docx. Okay.
Hey Sam, someone is asking if you can open to show a little bit the instructor files.
Sure. From
they look.
Microsoft, I see that. Yeah. So I'm going to navigate over to my courses real quick. And some of you may not know this, but we are developing a Microsoft 365 coming very soon. There's a little commercial advertisement there. This is the 2019 version of Microsoft Word. As you can see here, we do have the project files like we did before. Again, it's important not to click on this top one as it's going to be blank. It's not going to show you anything. Okay. Very important to click on the second one if you're going through student files. Okay. I do see here in the question that you're looking for the instructor files. Am I correct? Microsoft instructor file. Okay. So for instructor files, I want to go to my class. I'm going to open up Microsoft inside of my instructor files. And I'm going to open up Google Drive as my example here. Okay, so as you get into this, you can see that there's teacher files and student files as is normal. When I get into the teacher files here, you'll see that I have projects 1, 2, 3, and 4. As well as inside these folders, you'll see the lesson plans and the answer keys for each one. So as you go along, you will see that some of them are organized slightly differently, but you should have all the same exact things across the board. Okay, sometimes they're ordered for the entire course. We'll have the entire course worth of answer keys in one folder. Sometimes there are tucked away inside of the projects themselves. Not too complicated once you get into it. But yes, we all, for most of the courses, we have a lot of the same things going across all. Okay.
Maybe you can open one of the lesson plans so to show.
Sure. I'm going to open up this email one. Okay. And this is one of the lesson plans. You'll see that just like before, we also have the project timeline, which will show you all the videos that are required for this particular project. You will see some of the course stuff that they will be learning, as well as a rubric. What should we be grading on? What should we be looking out for? What should the student be able to show us that they can achieve after doing this project? Okay. We also have the objectives covered like we did before, so we can check off on all the objective domains that Certiport has laid out for us, as well as the materials, any additional resources, any cheats or tips that we may have from the instructor to you, as well as any extension challenges for our above and beyond students, our little overachievers here. Okay. Last but not least, we also have the rubrics, so you don't have to grade them from scratch. Okay. It's really wonderful that you can go in here and based on the project and the specifications that we've talked about up here, you should be able to easily grade your students based on what they've turned into you. Okay, so that's the lesson plans. This is for particularly, oh, this is Outlook, it seems. Oh, okay. So it does seem that we do have the files here a bit finicky. I will get to fixing this right after this. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. But nonetheless, the files should be in here. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna click on this again. Get out of here. Okay. Any burning questions? I do see that can they fill the worksheets electronically? Oh, that's a really good question. And yes, like Monica says, if they're using Acrobat, should be no problem. Another option is also to do this in Adobe Express. If you guys are familiar with Express, Express recently has a new feature, a new quick feature called Edit PDF, and this will allow any PDF to be dropped in there, and you can be able to type inside of that document. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys really quick. It only takes 2 minutes. I'm gonna go to express.adobe.com. Okay, and I'm going to once this loads in. I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus button. I'm going to go to quick actions. And last but not least, I'm going to edit PDF. Okay, I'm going to leave this up just for a split second so you guys can follow along. Again, that's the plus button, then to quick actions, then to edit PDF. Okay, once you click on this button, you can upload any PDF you want, and you can start editing once you have this uploaded and it has it analyzed. Okay. Not only that, there are other applications that will allow you to do this. Adobe Express not the only one. But yes, that will allow you to edit the PDF itself. We also have most of our worksheets, lesson plans, all of that also in docx form for the same exact reason that we want you to be able to edit them, be able to customize them for your own classroom. So if you go into the docx files, they can also go ahead and fill those out from there, okay? That way they don't have to convert it from PDF back into something editable. They can just edit from the PDF, okay? But it's very important that you guys download it from the website. First, download it, and then edit those docx files, okay? That is pretty much the thick and thin of it, guys. I don't want to overbog you with any more information. Again, if you have questions, we will have a short Q&A session at the very end if you have any other burning questions that I didn't get to. Okay. But that is basically how you do the student side and the teacher side, and how you extract the project files, the lesson plans, all the important stuff that you need to make sure your classroom and your classroom settings are running as smoothly, as wonderfully as you'd like them to be. All right.
Yes, now we're opening up for questions. If anybody has any questions, you can just open your mic and tell us out, okay? We want to hear you out. That's what this session is for, to hear you out and to make sure you have all the tools you need to start this new school year.
Absolutely. If not, during this time, I'm gonna also be, let's see, Mona, do you happen to have any of the new trailers by chance?
I could.
Actually looking for that, guys. Something that we're really proud to announce is that we do have a lot of up and coming courses that are gonna be new to Brain Buffet. There are a lot of courses that we're also updating, so that a lot of the Adobe courses and MOS courses, you'll see that a lot of the courseware has been tried and true, and that we are coming out with new and updated versions of a lot of our core classes, including Photoshop, After Effects, and a lot of our MOS courses as well, to offer new and updated versions of the software, and as well as anytime the Certiport guys, they update the tests, we also do our very best to keep you guys updated as well. All right, so very important to keep up to date on the My Class page. Even if you guys aren't regularly downloading stuff from this page, what could be really wonderful is to sometimes see these updates that you have on our dashboard. This way you're able to see kind of the latest and greatest from Brain Buffet, whether we have new courses or updates to current courses, or if we're changing a few things based on the tests being changed. You'll get all that first knowledge, the first-hand information here on this course dashboard page, the teacher dashboard page for you guys. Okay. Oh, wonderful. We do have some other trailers. I would recommend the Autodesk series. If you do, Autodesk is our newest and our latest and greatest from our production team. It's really wonderful because it's all hands-on. It's very much like our Adobe bread and butter courses. And then, oh, let me go ahead and release the page for you to see. And they're really wonderfully made. They have these wonderful little characters together that kind of bring you through the course, that allow you to really have a little fun while watching these instructors.
Welcome to
Can you hear the video?
I can hear it's a little titty, but I think that's okay.
Autodesk starting course.
We're talking the program that makes almost everything you see in the movies and all the video games that you play in both your phones, your consoles, and your computer. I mean, this machine does it all. It's amazing. So we'll help you learn how to be certified in this course for Autodesk Maya. This is your main menu up here. This is where you can do all your commands. Think of the rays of lights are like missiles, okay? And there's thousands of missiles coming out of a light source. I got like a working arm, right? Hey, you wanna mess with me? You wanna mess with me, buddy? Huh? You wanna mess with me? I like to go to UV shell, select the entire shell, and then convert my selection. Voila! There is your finished animation of the TIE Fighter. Oh, I'm gonna cry here. I'm really gonna miss you guys. Oh, the moment's passed. Bye!
Yep, so that's our Maya trailer. And that's gonna officially conclude our session for today. Monica, if you have any last announcements to make, go
There
ahead.
was another, just a question from Marcy.
Oh, okay. Oh, Marcy, yes. So the My courses are for the student side and My class is for the teacher side. That is indeed correct. That is correct.
Yeah, the My Class options only available for teachers, as the license management dashboard is only available for license managers. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
It should also mention, I think that will be it for this session then. Does anybody else have any questions? This is a golden opportunity. We have Sam right here. We also have Tachi, and we have Steven in too. All of them are part of our Brain Buffet team, and we're really happy to have you guys here. Thank you for making time. We have
Another
the
thing
course trailer.
that will be interesting for you guys, for you teachers, to announce is that we have free PD coming, and those will be every month on several different topics. So the first one's going to be Adobe Photoshop with free PD and an hour and a half with the latest and greatest everything that's being updated. So that's going to be coming in September. In August, we're having the Adobe Express free PD. So if you're interested, email us or stay tuned on the session that Sam was mentioning, that it has all the upcoming updates, new things that Brain Buffet is launching. That's going to be a great opportunity for you to be updated on the market and everything that's going on. And those free PD sessions will also be recorded and available for those who are teachers and use the Brain Buffet platform.
Yeah. I just put down the YouTube channel on the chat so you guys can subscribe, you can check that out. We have trailers in there, we have some extra material, we have some webinars that we have been doing. Our plan is to keep on having them monthly so we can update you guys on the platform or show you how to use different things. So stay tuned for those. They're going to be on the bulletin board that Sam showed you. And I think that would be it. If we have no more questions, thank you all for joining us in the session. It has been amazing hearing your questions, to be able to have this time together. And we are happy that you're here because we know that you're making the most out of your Brain Buffet experience and making the most for your students. So thank you very much for being here. It was great having you all. Bye.